Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulullah, amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, and welcome back to another episode of The Path to Da'wah. And this one, we're going to talk about body language. Ooh. True story, I was actually once in a plane, and I see a stewardess, instead of going all the way back, looks in the other back of the plane, and he actually goes like this. So I was wondering, what was he looking at? Only to find out he was actually looking at, he needs one Diet Coke. So you'll understand now that the body language is actually a significant aspect of modern communication. It is true. Very successful people tend to understand this well. So can you. Our goal in this episode is to actually make you into fine-tuned machine to understand the body language. As a da'iyah, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, you will need to understand the people's language. For example, when I give a lecture, I look at the people's eyes, I look at the people's gestures. It's true. I actually look at them to feedback and find out if I'm on the right track, not on the right track. So, for example, if somebody starts looking at their watch, I'm not really concerned. However, when they start going like this, I am slightly concerned because it's obvious. So now let us find out a little bit more definition and terminology about this body language we're talking about. It's actually, the study comes from the word kinesics, and it comes from the terminology of the Greek word kinesis, which means motion, the motion of the ocean. But of course, we're not going to be there. We're staying on land, just talking about the motion. So when we understand that this body language, believe it or not, is actually two ways. It doesn't just go from you to others, or people actually looking at you. So we are going to train you, inshallah, to become a conscious of the unconscious. Because that's what it is. It is really a revelation. People get interested in this body language after the psychologists will actually look into your body language, into the faces, the eye movement, and all of that. And the try to reveal the underlying language that you're trying to say to them. And hence it became a study. And indeed, this is a very important part of your path to da'wah. However, warning, mayday. Houston, we have a problem. What's the problem? Actually, the people that done the research says not one single body language sign is really credible. So we do our best to get the best. Hopefully, we will understand a lot more. And indeed, remember, it goes both ways. So be conscious of your own body language as you look at others' body language. Here's a question for you. Does body language include facial expressions, eye movement? Yes, indeed. How about this one? How about perspiration, breathing? Well, not normally, but usually yes. How about that? The tone of voice, the pitch. Well, again, it depends on your interpretation. However, people, when they research body language, they actually widen the scope just for the simple fact that you do not want to miss any other signals that is crucial to the information. And there's more. What? How much more? Well, first impressions, for example. As a da'iyah, it's very important for you to have a good first impression. So when you meet people, for example, if you start going, how you doing? That's not a very good first impression. So remember, as you interpret people, people will interpret you too. You're on the spot. Believe it or not, you're showtime. When people look at you, you're the only one looking at them, and that's the only thing they see is you. So please be aware of your pet words, for example, certain body language that you will actually perceive and people see you as. So please make sure that you have a very good first impression on the people that they will see you. Otherwise, they may not really want to listen to you. So first impressions are very important, so please make a good one. Body language is not just about how we hold our body, move it, or position it. It's a lot more than that. For example, the space we have between one another, how close we are. Oh, a little bit too close, a little too close. I hope you brush your teeth. Oh, yeah. Some other things we have to is how we touch ourselves. I don't mean that like the Italian, my brothers and sisters. I love you, man. I'm talking about the way, if you go like this, for example, I'm interested in what you say. I go like this. But if I go like this, I am bored. Man, let's move on. Okay? How about the way you handle the pen, for example, or I'm not going to say a cigarette, but something you're touching. Haram, cigarettes, ooh. You know the scholars that will tell you it's makruh? It's the scholars that actually smoke. It's makruh. So whatever it is that you touch, it's also indication. Now, the eye movement is very big. You know why? Because you've been watching this Bollywood movie, haven't you? Oh, you're so righteous. MashaAllah, you don't watch these movies, and I can tell you why. For the simple fact, the scholars actually say, and the teachers on this one, and the researchers say that the eye movement has a big influence on the body language. You know, it's scientifically proven. Actually, you've seen this on the movie. It's a Bollywood movie. You know, where the eye glands have two levers with a crowded room, but as soon as you look at them and go, oh la la, you start speaking in French. In the back of your mind, you're thinking, you know, this scene where the girl loves the boy and the father is the villain and they don't want him to get married. So they elope. Elope, you run, girl, you go. And all of a sudden, the guy comes on a white horse with very slow, with the motion. Oh yes, the eyes are coming. And you can see the twinkle of that smile. And all of a sudden, there's a plant, there's a tree in the middle of the desert out of nowhere. And the sky is so clear, but it still rains. And that man starts to have that line of dances behind the reason and go, oh, that is the eyes. It tells everything about it, indeed. So be careful how you look, because they actually look at the focus, how it opens, how it closes, how many times it opens and shuts. So why should we actually be studying body language? Good question. Because the more you understand people's body language, feelings, attitudes through the study of body language, you will actually refine your own. You will get in touch with your own feelings. You'll finally find yourself. So indeed, it is very important for us as a da'iyas to understand how people feel. Hence, we get in touch with our own feelings. We improve ourselves to become a better performance. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a definition, inshallah, on what it is all about. So definition of it, the comprehensive. There's a few definitions, by the way, but I got the one that is more comprehensive. And what it is, you're going to have to go over there in order for me to be able to read. And finally, it just appears, an iPad with the definition. So let's go over that. I'll meet you then. How you doing? Been a long time. Miss you already. So let's go to definition. What is the definition? The definition of the body language is actually a body language is the unconscious and conscious transmission and interpretation of feelings, attitudes, and moods through body posture, movement, physical state, position, and relationship of other bodies, objects, and surroundings, facial expressions, and eye movement. And by the way, this interpretation could be quite different than spoken words. So they say there are 6 universal facial expressions that is recognized around the world. For example, happiness, sadness, disgust, fear, anger. Well, they look the same to us, but there's more. And surprise! There's a lot more to it than that, of course, but these are the 6 that are recognized around the world. I'm not sure if I actually said the 6 or not, but we'll find out if we play it back. And I have the green light. I'm happy for you. Body language can actually have a different context that you think. So some people may give you a signal, but they simply mean something else. For example, if you see someone with rubbing eyes, for example, going like that, it could simply be they just having irritated eyes, or not just aggravated or disbelieving. Someone has a cross arms, could simply trying to keep themselves warm, not being defensive. And someone has a itchy nose, could simply have an itchy nose, not trying to conceal a lie. Having said that, please keep in mind that people are different. For example, the body language of a young male is different than one that is an older woman. So you keep in mind the gender and also the age factor. They're known the young men are more energetic, so they will give you a lot more body language and you can actually read it. However, an older woman would be a little bit less, so you will not get as much body language, so you have to actually interpret the difference between the two. And keep in mind that a same body language in a different situation from a male or a female and the time of the span of the age difference could mean something totally different with a different person and a different situation. Having said that, there's also fake things. You know what they are? You know that fake handshake? They're giving you the confidence of this guy, I am here for you. And you know, you've heard and seen that corporate smile. Thank you, bye bye. Thank you, bye bye. Thanks for replying. Bye bye. Thanks for that. Bye bye. You know those ones? That's always there. Oh, that direct eye contact. I see you, man. All that is temporary. They can fake it for a short time. Indeed, they cannot fake it for a long time. So be careful and look for these things as you go along. However, if you see a trend, not a spike, you can find out who's the fake and who's the true. There's a lesson learned for us, brothers and sisters. When you are in the body language business, you also have to differentiate between the person and the situation. So some people will actually give out negative vibes. Don't be offended. It's possible that it's not them, or indeed it's not you. However, you have to look at the situation, the bigger picture in itself. Maybe the room is too cold. Maybe the room is too hot. Maybe you're overloading person with a new person that is actually with a knowledge. The attention span is about 20 minutes. Anytime that it's over 20 minutes, you'll see steam coming out of their hair. And that's why we're trying to keep these episodes actually in a short time for you, because we love you. Now, you can also think that they're too tired, too hungry, too thirsty, too something. They're stressed out. They're the night, morning after the night before syndrome. Whatever that may be, you have to look at the bigger picture, not just the person, look at the situation. Bottom line, you have to make sure that you don't jump to conclusions. Finishing this episode, we're telling you that next one, inshallah, we're going to share with you about the directions, the body language, where the eyes look, and all of that stuff. That is going to give you a lot more tools, inshallah, to be a refined body language interpreter. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who listen, speak, and follow the best of it. Wa akhir da'wan, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, wa sallam ala alihi wa sahbihi wa tabi'een. Jazakumullah anna khaira, wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.